Thank you. So we're just waiting for Danny Jacobs. Yeah, Danny's going to be coming out, and so is Canelo. They're just finishing their testing. They'll be coming out. Official attendance for tonight. Official attendance was 20,203. 20,203. We were just shy of a sellout. A lot of the tickets that remained were individual tickets without pairs, which is always the hardest, the hardest tickets to sell at the end. So just wait a little bit, guys, and they'll be coming out shortly.
Sorry? I thought it was a good performance. I thought it was an intriguing fight. I don't think it was necessarily the war that we thought we might get, but there was at times. I thought it was a very high-class fight, high-level fight between two elite fighters. I thought Danny had a relatively poor first half of the fight, and I thought that he won the back end of the fight. I scored it 115, 113, and I think he'll kick himself a little bit, but it's easy to say, if he would have tried to be a little bit more aggressive in the fight. He took some big shots, and so did Canelo, and they both showed a great chin. I think it's something that him and Andre will talk about. I see him moving to 168. I think he's had a brilliant run at 160. And obviously now with the landscape, with Canelo potentially fighting Triple G if that happens, and Demetrius waiting in the wings with the undisputed fight, I think the time is right for Danny to move up to the 168 division now. I think it'll be a new challenge. I think he'll be a different monster there as well. And if that's what his team decides, I think that'll be a wise move. No, 115, 113 is, if I score it 115, 113, then you can have it 116, 112, you can have it a draw. But the right man won the fight. I think that's the general consensus. Sorry? For sure, it was a fight that every fight fan would have just paid $100 for, or $90 on a regular pay-per-view platform. And tonight they got it part of the monthly schedule, or they bought an annual pass for the same price. It's giving them 100 fight nights a year. Coming up, we've got a show next Friday. You've got the World Boxing Super Series. You've got the heavyweight debut of Alexander Usyk against Carlos Takam. You've got the American debut of the unified heavyweight world champion Anthony Joshua against Andy Ruiz. You've got the return of Gennady Golovkin. You've got the defense of the WBA world champion Demetrius Andrade, and that's just till the end of June. That's not including the MLB. That's not including, like I said, the World Boxing Super Series, the Bellator event. So, if you spent tonight the normal price of one pay-per-view, congratulations, you've just got 1 year of DAZN. And in that same year, you're going to see fights like Canelo against Triple G and Joshua against Usyk, potentially Joshua against Wilder. So the value is incredible. Yeah. Talking about the atmosphere? I thought the atmosphere was fantastic. I thought the whole week has been fantastic, from Golden Boy, from DAZN, the 40 Days series, Tecate, Hennessy, the activations going on outside. I thought it was a fantastic week, a fantastic event put on. I want to also thank Golden Boy for the opportunity for John Ryder. That was a big win for him tonight. WBA interim world champion. He's now the mandatory challenger for Callum Smith. And when the David Lemieux fight fell through, I wouldn't have been offended if Eric and Robert told me that John Ryder was off the card. So I want to thank them for keeping him on. And also, they gave one of their fighters a big opportunity tonight, but it was a great performance from John Ryder.
How much in advance will Joshua come for his fight?
Sorry?
How much in advance will Joshua come for his fight, as long as you're here?
He arrives on Sunday in New York. He stays in New York on Sunday night. He does a whole lot of media on Monday, and he leaves on Tuesday to Miami to finish off his training camp.
Check, is this on? Okay.
Hey, Eric, what's your thoughts on what happens with Canelo next? I mean, this was a convincing victory over Jacobs. A rematch is not necessarily needed. And Golovkin's going to probably be there after Steve rolls.
I mean, he's in a great position. He's in a great position. I mean, he's the king right now. We're going to do... I lost my voice, Bill, sorry. I lost my voice. You know, we're going to do what we always do with Canelo, which is, you know, we get together, Oscar and I, Roberto Diaz, we get together with the team and with his team, and we look at all the top guys. You know, one of the fights that Canelo's told us that he would love to do, is Callum Smith. And I think, you know, Eddie knows some people at Wembley Stadium there. So that would be a great event there. So, you know, the sky's the limit. You know, he said it himself after the fight. He wants to fight all the top fights, whatever the fans want, whatever the biggest challenge is. If it's a Golovkin fight, then we're going to sit down and we'll talk about that. But he's in a great position right now. Very few fighters get to enjoy a position. Anthony Joshua's in the same position. They can pick and choose who they want to fight.
This one's for Eddie Hearn. With a lot of talent with DAZN at the 160-pound division, you could say that for Danny Jacobs, there's a lot of great matchups to be made, you know, talking about a round robin. And at 168, a lot of PVC guys and politics getting in the way, with only Callum Smith, the matchroom guy, being a champion. As much as it would be great to see at 168 Danny fighting, is 160 still probably a more realistic option as far as making fights happen that he wants to have?
No, I think that, you know, when you look at the landscape, you have two PBC guys who are world champions at 168, one matchroom guy, and I believe the WBO title has become vacant for a gift for Billy Joe Saunders next week. So, you know, I wouldn't say it's a division controlled by the PBC. They have two world champions. You know, we'd love to make the David Benavidez fight with Callum Smith. I think that's a great fight. We'd love to make the Canelo fight with Callum Smith. You know, that's an opportunity for Canelo to move up and win the Ring Magazine Championship at 168 pounds as well as the 160 that he holds. So I think Callum's in a good position. You're going to see him on June the 1st at Madison Square Garden. We'll announce that next week. And I just think that, having spoken to Danny backstage, and he'll be up here now, I think the answer he'll give you is that he has to move.
Thank you.